Happy Monday and happy Pride Month. Things are really chaotic and crappy over here in America. So I haven't felt very happy and prideful in a long ass minute. But I am still hoping that you guys are finding some way to celebrate yourselves, celebrate each other, and enjoy life. And that's what I got my manga for. That's my escape from reality. And today we're talking all about trans representation in manga. So I got some manga recs for you right here, and I just need to preface this by saying I will not stand for any hate in my comments. Obviously, you can disagree or dislike a book. That is an opinion, but there will be no disrespect nor, hateful rhetoric towards transgendered individuals or anything. Like, I just won't stand for it. You will be blocked. Goodbye. I do not feel sorry. So, only love and respect in the comments, and as it should be, as I hope that this little community I fostered would do. I really believe you guys have a lot of love and a lot of care and understanding for your fellow humans. I really hope. I really believe in you. But yeah, so let's talk about some manga. I'm going to talk about the ones that I've unhauled first. Just because I've unhauled them doesn't mean they are a bad representation in my opinion, and so I still want to talk about them. And just because they weren't like a perfect fit for me in my collection doesn't mean they might not be a perfect fit for you and yours. So first off is one I have actually unhauled, and that is a one-shot called Strip the Flesh. So I read this one, I don't remember if it was last April or 2 Aprils ago, but this is a one-shot, and the first story, the longest of the collection of short stories, is about a transgendered man, and I thought it was well done, well crafted. There are about 10 more short stories ranging from 2 pages to 10 pages each. And just the collection as a whole wasn't doing it for me. Do I still think if you're in the mood to pick up one shot and have a little dive into some short stories with some trans representation in it, I still would say, give it a go. Maybe it is up your alley. I thought the art was really nice, really solid, just not personally something I would reread. And at this point in my collecting, I'm trying to just keep series and volumes that I think I will want to reread and I felt a connection to personally. So yeah, I'm shouting that one out. The next one I have technically unhauled, but I have not actually let it go of the physical copies. So I have it here. And again, it's not because I don't think it is good trans representation. It is just that I did not really connect with the characters and stories personally. And it's, very personal when it comes to manga and media of all forms. And I kept it because I really wanted to give it to somebody that I thought would really value it in their collection, or at least enjoy getting a chance to read it. And I did reach out to a friend, and she's very supportive of LGBTQ plus, as I am. So I think I'm going to bring it to her. So it's going to go to a good home. And that's what I wanted for it, was to go to someone who would appreciate it as well. But that is Boys Run the Riot. So this is, in my opinion, actually one of the best introductions to transgender characters, and through that you can kind of understand more about the very real people that are going through the things that our main character, high schooler Rio, is as a transgender man. He is very much into fashion and is a all-around regular school boy, except for that He's not really allowed to in school dress the way he wants, being forced to wear the girls' uniform. Of course, when this story begins, he feels very alone, not able to tell his friend who he has a crush on, or his mother who is constantly getting on him for dressing like a boy, and is isolated, and the only solace he has is in fashion and clothes that he can wear that he truly feels expresses his personality and who he is. Down to, you know, his soul. And I did really like that, because I also feel the impact and the power in fashion. And then Rio ends up meeting Jin, the tough guy in class, and finds out he has the same type of fashion sense as him. And so they bond over this and actually kind of dabble in designing their own fashion as the series goes on. It's a short series, complete at 4 volumes, and I do really think it has a lot of you know, emotion and heart to it, and I would really recommend these for kids. I know it says 16 plus, but I didn't feel like it had too much intense themes, but of course parents should read it before giving it to their kids, because it's been a couple of years since I've read it, so I don't remember, you know, everything. But it's more about self-identity and feeling comfortable in your own skin. And I think those are really great themes and a great way to introduce young people, or, you know, people of all ages who maybe don't fully understand, or they just don't know a trans person. And maybe this will open up their eyes a little bit, maybe make them understand trans people in general more. So I think it's a really solid book, probably the best one I have in terms of representation for transgendered individuals. So I highly recommend it. Just because I'm unhauling it for my collection does not mean I disliked it. Next up is another one-shot, Claudine. So Claudine is dated, we'll say. This is a manga by the same mangaka who wrote Rose of Versailles. So it is, you know, older, but I don't say it's outdated to mean it's completely like lacking in good representation. While I don't think it's maybe the best of the bunch, I do think it has a lot of emotional weight. And it's actually my first book, my first manga that I ever read with trans representation. And it really stuck with me and hit a chord with me. So I think even though it is an older one, it's very thin, you know, a nice quick read, but definitely packs an emotional punch. Claudine is born with a female assigned body that doesn't reflect the man inside. And it's really, truly like a very more emotionally wrought and heart-wrenching story following Claudine through life, pain, and the love of several women. So it is more mature, it is more mature themes, explores gender and sexuality in early 20th century France, and a powerful tale about identity, culture, and again, self-acceptance. So yeah, I like I said, I really got a lot out of this, even though it's so short. And the art is really breathtakingly beautiful. Older art style, of course, but beautiful in my opinion nonetheless. And yeah, if you're okay with it being a little dated in some constructs or some opinions perhaps, and go into it knowing that, I think that you will also feel for and connect with Claudine. Next up is a newer release, one that is still ongoing as of right now that I'm recording anyway, and that is Scars. So I read Scars just a couple months back, and I really liked it. I've seen some people have, you know, posted on Instagram not liking it, and to each their own, like I always say. That is a matter of opinion, and that is a matter of preference. And as long as you are respectful to the people in, you know, the human people in the world and living their lives that are transgender, I don't care if you don't resonate with a particular manga that has trans characters in it, you know? I hope you wouldn't, you know, take it out on me for unhauling the ones that I have. So In this one, again, we are dealing with a darker tone, and definitely some triggers for abuse, child abuse, harm, physical and otherwise, to children. So it's heavy, definitely. I am prefacing this by giving you all the warnings of how heavy this one is. So it follows Kyonosuke, a young boy who's constantly bullied for having a large scar on his face. Akira is a young girl who is beaten by her father, despised by her classmates, and who holds a dark secret close to her heart. Wounded, rejected, and humiliated, the young pair start a romantic relationship that becomes their escape. So yeah, it definitely is written. It's written in a snapshot way. I talked about this when I read it right afterwards. And if you like more of a story that's very constructed and doesn't skip around and just gives you bits and pieces, then you might not like the narrative flow of this one, because it is different. I looked at it as like getting a little peek, a little snapshot into their lives at these pivotal moments, either the very down and the very sad moments for them, and also the uplifting and the happy moments as well. So we get these little peeks into their lives. It feels a little voyeuristic. It's also very interesting and character driven. You know, it's this very character centric story. The lives of these young people just trying to be themselves and trying to be accepted in a society where everyone seems to be against them. It feels like it's them against the world. So yeah, like I said, it is much more darker in tone. There are some very heavy themes, heavy situations that are in this one. So know that going in. But again, I really enjoyed this first volume, and I'm looking forward to volume 2, which I think is coming out July or August, but sometime this summer. So yeah, I hope I continue to enjoy this one. Next up, we are moving away from the dark, from the more dramatic and from the more emotional, like to something that's actually light and fluffy. That's why I really enjoyed it, even though I do have some nitpicks with it. And that is, I cross-dressed for the IRL Meetup. So this is complete at 5 volumes. The first 2 are omnibuses and the last one is a single volume. I really think it should have been 6 volumes and gotten a little more time. I'm assuming that the manga was kind of, you know, canceled, snipped, cut short. It's just the vibe I get. It feels a little rushed at the 5th volume. I am not gonna lie, that's where my issues lie. The 5th volume is not it. It is not giving as much as I would have liked from this one, based on the first 2 volumes, which had me over the moon in love with this one. So I do want to let you know that I'm not fully satisfied with it, but I can't let it go because I just love these cute characters, and all they want to do is meet up in adorable outfits and eat desserts. And like, who doesn't want that in life? Like, it's just so cute. So we have a couple characters. 3 of them are actually identify as male, and they just enjoy cross-dressing for one reason or another, and that is explored throughout these volumes. And then the final 4th character in the group, she is transgender, and I really like how it's kind of a non-issue. Like, it's kind of like, don't get me wrong, I love all the ones I've talked about before where, you know, it's more of focus, it's more delved into, and the trans character is very much, you know, exploring their self-identity and, you know, hopefully coming into their own kind of journeys and stuff, and acceptance, self-acceptance, and acceptance from their loved ones. But it's just refreshing to have one where the one actual, you know, girl in the group that's not a guy that's cross-dressing is transgender, and they're just cool with it, and they're just friends, and they like each other, and get along with each other. and feel comfortable with each other. And everyone just needs that, you know? And so it's just very relaxing and chill. I mean, I'd say there's hardly any drama in this one. It is a lighthearted, more comedic series about love, friendship, gender nonconformity, and what it means to be your true self. So it does still have those themes, but in a much more light and uplifting manner. And both are great, you know, both representations. Like, I seriously love the stories of all of the ones I've talked about. I think they're all really good. It's just, yeah, a lighter, fluffier story sometimes. Just really nice to indulge in, just like the sweet treats that they indulge in this series. So yeah, though I have some issues about the series, how it ended as a whole, how rushed it felt or incomplete, or a little bit, you know, not as good as it could have been. I still really love this one, and still would really recommend you try it out, because it's just, how long have I had that on my lip? That's embarrassing. Oh, I'm sorry. Anywho's. So the cute vibes didn't last for long. We are back to a little bit more of a darker edge, more emotional stories with Last Gender. So this is complete in 3 volumes. It is short. I cannot say it is sweet. Just short. Again, the ending feels a bit rushed, a bit like they could have used one more volume just to slowly reveal some things that get revealed to us in that 3rd and final volume. But overall, I think it's a really good one. It has a lot of characters that fall within the LGBTQ plus or LGBTQIA plus spectrum. So there's a lot of representation in here, which I like seeing, but a lot of it is a little on the darker side, a little bit on the dramatic and emotional side of things. This one is centered around Bar California, a place for you to reveal your true self. People of different genders, propensities, and sexual orientations gather at a certain chic bar that's hidden from the public eye. While some come in search of themselves, others step into the establishment looking for sex and love. There are as many sexualities as there are people, and the patron stories intertwine as they struggle to find happiness. So yeah, this one is definitely has sexual themes. It is rated 18 plus, so I definitely would not recommend this for kids. Out of all of them, this and Claudine are probably the most mature and not for kids. If you were going to introduce younger peoples to any of these, those would be the 2 I wouldn't personally. But yeah, we get to explore multiple characters, like a bisexual trans woman who's been hurt by the voices of others' wishes. She had a normal, quote-unquote, relationship. A married, middle-aged salaryman secretly expressing his female side. And a pansexual cis guy on the lookout for true love. Like, this is probably the series, I'd have to say, with the most diverse representation. Like, I don't think that I have another pansexual representation that I've seen in manga, for instance. So, and I love the way that it talks about most of these characters and their struggles. And even though it is heavy and it can get kind of dark, it treats it with care and respect, like I said, which is key. It never feels like these people aren't taken seriously, and they find solace in Bar California, which is a common LGBTQ theme, that they, you know, find a place where they can be their true selves. And I really appreciate that this mangaka wrote a story letting these you know, characters that are representing real people in the LGBTQ plus community, exploring multiple different, you know, identities, sexualities, and genders in this story. I just think it's really great representation. It's just not, you know, for younger audiences, unfortunately, but 18 plus, I totally recommend this one. The last two also have really good, I think, a good diverse representation. Maybe not quite as much as that one, but still pretty damn good, you know, for what is out there with manga, at least what I've read. Always let me know if you've read more that you think have some really great and diverse representation. But these are both series that I think are great, that I totally think are acceptable for younger audiences as introductions to the LGBTQ plus community, or as just a freaking, you know, good read, because we all deserve to enjoy some good reads with LGBTQ plus characters, you know. And first up we have Our Dreams at Dusk. So this is a series that is complete at 4 volumes. I really love, again, similar to Last Gender, that these characters find a safe haven where they can be themselves and have community and acceptance. And yeah, it is really great to see. It's sad that it needs to kind of still be a thing, and it just can't be open and be accepted in general in society. But anyway, this is definitely more of a coming of age story. We have ourselves some younger characters, some school age characters, and the story begins with this high schooler Tasuku Kaname, the new kid in town who is terrified that he has been outed as gay. Just as he's contemplating doing the unthinkable, Tasuku meets a mysterious woman who leads him to a group of people dealing with problems not so different than his own. In this realistic, heartfelt depiction of LGBT plus, that's what they have on the back, so that's what I read. Characters from different backgrounds finding their place in the world, a search for inner peace proves to be the most universal experience of all. It really is. Like, finding your place in the world, finding community, finding people who care, love, and accept you as you are is a universal struggle. For some reason, people, an unfortunately large part of the world, just doesn't seem to fucking see it. But sorry for my swearing. My emotions are, it's a struggle to keep them in check sometimes. But this is a beautifully illustrated, like, the art is so good in this one, and it is just a really emotional, but with a soft touch, with like a hopeful lens in looking at these particular characters and the close-knit community that they connect with. And through the lens of our main character, Tasuku, we see him meeting other members of the LGBTQ community, learning more about them, and coming to understand them as well. So it's a good, you know, like, he only understands his own struggles and being gay. And there are so many more unique and different individuals in this community and their own individual struggles in accepting and themselves and being accepted by others for who they really are in society. And that, I think it's a really great way to be introduced to members of this community through these characters for a younger audience, like I said, and, you know, for all ages, because they're really well written, multi-dimensional characters that I really just enjoy reading about. So yeah, super solid series all around. Definitely recommend this one, as well as our last read. My last recommendation is one I just don't see enough. I don't see people talking about it as much, and I had to save it for last because I just really want there to be some more eyes and ears on this one, and it is Love Me for Who I Am. So in this one, our main character here is non-binary. I think it's really great since, again, that is another part of the LGBTQ plus community and the people in it that are definitely sorely lacking in representation in manga, among other areas of media, of course, but you know, we're talking about manga specifically. So Mogumo is a cute but lonely non-binary high school student who just wants a few loving friends. I mean, don't we all? That's all we want, okay? As someone who doesn't identify as a boy or a girl, which is what non-binary means, for them, it is even harder to find people who really understand. And this is a big challenge that Mogumo is facing when fellow student Iwaoka Tetsu invites Mogumo to work at an untraditional maid cafe. Mogumo is hopeful that things are looking up. Will they finally find friends to call their own, or just more misunderstandings? So while there are some misunderstandings, while there is some tears, some drama, some emotions, again, it's very much more of a finding your community and finding people who accept you in this maid cafe where our maids are, again, part of the LGBTQ plus community and learning about each other's struggles, how they identify, who they love, their, you know, all that jazz. Is, you know, an exploration of the community as well as a self-exploration of, you know, who they are and learning how to be a better ally for their fellow LGBTQ plus community members. And I love that when you get to see it in manga, like I said with the last one, and this one does a really good job with it. And the way Mogumo is treated, it's really great. Like, they find not only a community, they find romance, they find a way to bridge their gap with their family. There are small things where I think it's a little maybe idealistic, if I would, you know, have to pick it apart a little bit. That's what I'd have to say on it. There's especially near the end where things get wrapped up and it feels, you know, it's definitely more hopeful, more positive. Is it a little on the idealistic side? Is it a little wrapped up too neatly? Maybe, but I'd rather see a happy ending than an ending where Mogumo isn't loved and accepted by their family and the people closest to them for who they are. So like, if I had a choice, I'd rather a little bit of an idealistic ending, to be honest with you. So while I can recognize that, I get it. I got it again. I can't wear this lipstick anymore. My God. The way I talk, what is wrong with me? My goodness. I'm so sorry. Anyway, it just makes me happy, it makes me feel good, gives me hope that more young people can have this experience and be free to be who they are and be loved and accepted for it. It's like all I think everybody wants. Like, just, it's not that big of a request. Oh no, I'm gonna get heated again, so no, not gonna go there. Again, we got cute art, we got cute maid outfits. Like, there's nothing that's not adorable and sweet and heartfelt, heartwarming, just like good vibes in this one. You know, like I said, there are definitely some emotional moments, but nothing gets too dark or too down for long, where they pick each other back up and support each other and are there for each other, and they have that community, and that's really important. So I hope for you, my little community, that you have found hopefully a new book to enjoy, or you can comment below and let me know which of these you also have read and loved, or even if you didn't love it, you know, that's okay too. Like I said, not every series is for everybody, you know, just is what it is. But these are some of the ones I think have really great trans representation. I know as we went along, the series definitely had more LGBTQ plus characters and didn't just focus solely on a trans character at its center or anything. But I wanted to cover all the series that I know that do include trans representation, because sadly there's not many, and I hope that we get more. I know one is being printed in July. Why wouldn't they have made that so it comes out in June for a Pride Month, you know? Like, sometimes I feel like these publishers don't think things through well. But I do hope to pick that up, whether in July or August, you know, when it comes out. I'm not gonna remember the title off the top of my head, which is why I'm pointing. So yeah, this series looks good. I haven't heard anything really about it, just happened to see it, you know, announced or being advertised or whatever by the publishers. But yeah, so I was happy to see that. And of course, let me know if I missed any series one-shots, anything that also has trans representation, because, you know, sometimes I miss things. It's very possible. And I would, of course, love to know. And I hope you really enjoyed this video. And just know that my YouTube channel is always a safe place. My Insta DMs are always open if you need anything. You know, there's no telling how quickly I shall respond, because I am notoriously bad at checking DMs sometimes. But I will be there, don't you worry. Yeah, I feel like I said, I think this is a community of very accepting and understanding people. I hope to see in the comments below. Don't prove me wrong now. And some likes if you like the video. And of course, if you haven't yet, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It just, you know, helps me, helps, you know, get this video to more people, hopefully. And have a happy and safe Pride. Until next time, bye!